Hi everyone, welcome back to COYS and Kin. I'm Siddhu,
And I'm Anand.
and we're a father-son duo who live and breathe Tottenham Hotspur. Each week, we dive into all things Spurs in their 2025-2026 Champions League run. The matches, the players, the highs.
And the lows.
So whether you're here for analysis, banter, or just to share the Spurs passion, come on you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Okay, finally, we watched the game against Copenhagen at Tottenham Stadium, November 4th. Just ended 4-0. You know, it's a shame that we don't have attackers, forward number 9 players who can finish because really, I think this game should have ended 4-0 by the first half. And then maybe Johnson wouldn't have done his stupid tackle, but then we wouldn't have gotten the potential Puskas winner for this year. The amazing goal by Mickey van der Ven to give us 3-0. Um, I don't know. I mean, we don't have to jump into the bad things, but it was actually quite an enjoyable game, I thought.
Yeah, I thought that Spurs played really progressive football.
Hmm.
I could see the midfielders when they got the ball for most of the game, not all of the game, but for most of the game, they were looking to pass the ball forward. And I think it was really helped in the beginning of the game by, I thought Udogi was really playing well. He's almost like a winger, because he can take the ball and he
Right.
can drive it forward and take on players as well. So I think the kind of nature of the game changed right at the beginning.
Hmm.
And and so luckily they kept it on. For about the last half of the first half, uh, went back to just passing it around,
Right, right. It was
passing it.
very
Yeah, didn't want to
lethargic.
take a chance, and they were passing it back so that they would not, give up a goal in the first half. But outside of that period, and that was about, unfortunately, about 20 minutes. The rest of the game, they were playing progressive football
Yeah.
and were playing really, really well.
I think Simmons had his best game, so it is a shame that he had to get taken off, and it's a necessary sacrifice, but he was linking up with people. Him and Odebear, I think, have actually a good connection so far. They're slowly starting to kind of understand how to occupy each other's spaces, and they have these kind of back passy trick things. They're kind of similar. They're similar stature as well. I feel like they kind of they glide similarly, and they're also not bulky enough similarly. But there's some nice
Right.
movement.
Odobea has a little bit more bulk and a little bit more height.
Yeah,
But I thought Simmons did more than that actually, because he was also looking for Kolo Muani
yeah,
frequently. And a couple of times he couldn't get the ball to him, but he was really trying to do forward passing. And for the first time in a long time, I also saw Benton Co. actually trying to split players and pass
yeah.
the ball through.
Right.
So they didn't quite. He didn't quite do it that well, but I think that's a matter of practice. If you continue to start trying to find space between the opposing players to pass the ball, it makes a big difference. So you get into that mindset, you get into that habit, and now sooner or later you're going to actually find the players.
Right.
So I thought um,
Simmons.
Odegaard, Odegaard didn't play that well in the first half, but nevertheless, Simmons basically played really well. I thought he had the best game of his time in Tottenham. And
Hmm.
so I'm really hoping that this is a sign of things to come.
Yeah, and I think that it's not that Copenhagen isn't a physical team either. So it's just a matter of him gaining a little bit of confidence, and you could see as his confidence grew, it was I think that what happened at the Chelsea match, right? We can say that he was by far the worst player at Chelsea,
Right.
against Chelsea, and it seemed like he was kind of lackadaisically passed it back to Van der Ven, which led to their goal. Caicedo obviously had a lot to do with it, but yeah, it seems
But
like slowly he's clicking as well.
yeah, but I also want to add one more thing. I think contrasting with the Chelsea game, I think they played a little scared, and Frank set them up not to lose.
Mhm.
So, they had a defense first mindset. They didn't want to give up too many goals. And so as a result, they didn't really play good football, actually. I think today when they came in thinking, hey, we're going to beat Copenhagen, right? I mean, we're going to beat Copenhagen. And so their entire mindset changed. So I really think that Frank is responsible. I mean, he needs to really coach these guys up to try to be a little bit more heroic, not hide behind, safety and take a chance. I mean, I don't think it will be that bad. So I hope that's what he does uh, from now on. Certainly in the Premier League as much as in the Champions League.
I think the only thing I'll say to that though is that if you think, look, obviously we had so many chances that Colomwani should have put away, Richarlison should have put away, whoever should, mainly those two. But actually, all four of the goals were counterattacking goals, right? If you think about each one of those goals, it was a
Right.
counterattacking goal or a goal created by applying a lot of pressure, and then getting the goal by a mistake, right? That even Colomwani's when he and the keeper went for the ball and then he got it and gave it to Odegaard for the goal. So they actually, they set up more attack minded and they created a lot more, but they still missed that cutting edge that they have been in the league in a lot of ways. I think that all four of the goals, counter-attacking goals that, at the end of the match, Copenhagen were going for it, and that's why all the space open for Van der Ven. Even, Romero was the one who assisted Paulinho's goal. Why was Romero all the way up there? Because he probably thought, I can abdicate a little bit. Like they're going for it, we might as well go forward too.
Well, I don't think that it was classical counter-attacking
Sure.
goals.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened was, I think Copenhagen was not a good opponent,
Yeah.
and so they basically they were not sure whether they should be pressing or not pressing, and you're right. And towards the end of the game, they started pressing more.
Yeah.
So there were spaces that opened up in the midfield, and and you could actually uh, kind of go through the middle of the pitch and go through the mid center of the pitch. But nevertheless, this team, I think that's the other problem, Spurs don't know whether they are a classic counter-attacking team like Conte's team or Mourinho's team. And they're not sure, whether they're a completely attacking team, where they're going to play high and they're going to have, the entire back line way up high on the pitch, like
Right.
Barcelona, for example. But so I think that that's also something that they're learning as they go along. I mean, the thing about Frank is that they always say that he sets people up based on what the opponent is
Yeah.
like.
Right.
But I think he also needs to think, well, what are we like and what
Yeah.
can we do?
Yeah.
And essentially, go for it.
I,
Yeah, in terms of missed goals, I mean, it's such a disappointment because I thought Kolo Muani had three reasonably easy goals,
yeah.
and I think Richie had three very easy goals, almost
Yeah.
three, at
Two in
least
the
two easy
penalty.
goals and a penalty.
Yeah. Right.
And so it's a pity these guys are not finishing properly.
Yeah.
In terms of that, I was very happy to see Dane Scarlett come in.
Yeah.
And he can take people on in the
Yeah.
box.
Yeah. He's clearly bulking
He's
up
got
too.
strength.
Yeah.
He's got much more, even stronger than Kolo Muani actually. And
Perhaps.
the
Definitely,
fact
definitely he stays on his feet better than Rich Charlison does. So I think that
exactly,
goes a long way for his guile as a striker, you
that's
know?
right. So I think the reason we got that penalty was because he powered in and
Yeah, I mean,
the
I was hoping he would
Brazilian.
just score because
I
obviously
know.
you want him to score and you want that
Yeah,
because that would have been an amazing thing. But
right,
and obviously seniority, they had to give Richarlison the penalty. But
right.
sometimes I feel like there should be a rule almost where if you win the penalty, you have to take the penalty. I think that would actually change the sport a lot.
Nobody does that, I believe.
No, no, I mean that should be like a unstated rule almost.
Right, right. I mean, I know that you kept saying that Odobea played well, and
I
he,
think in
of
the
course,
second
scored a
half.
goal.
Yeah.
And so, once you score a goal, it's very difficult to kind of, you know. But I thought that Odobea did not play that well, actually. I did not think Odobea played that well, certainly not in the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, he and Udogi need to link up more because
Right.
Udogi was driving in and Odobea then drifted into the center,
Mm.
but then he kept drifting into the center even when there was no play that came up the middle. I mean, came up the wing.
The wing. Yeah,
So
sure.
I don't know,
That's true.
something that, the other thing is, I told you this before, Brennan Johnson has a nose for goal, man.
I
I'm
mean,
telling
okay, not
you,
only knows for a
he has
goal,
the X
I
factor.
think this is his best goal in the Spurs jersey because that scoring from where he did, it wasn't just a cross. It was almost like the perfect placement to get
Right,
it
right. No,
past it.
he did a couple of goals like this last season too, by the way.
Maybe
So yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
but in the strides, like placing it really nicely, those are the sort of goals maybe that with Ange, someone would have run in the back and like kicked it in, so it would have been an assist rather than a goal, even if it was on target. This one, it was like, I don't know, glided
Yeah, fair
in. Yeah,
enough. But the other thing is that there were two occasions where he was right there
yeah,
to get a goal, and Udogi in one case simply tried to pass it to Simmons or somebody in the
Simmons.
middle.
Yeah, right.
And rather than kicking it over to Brennan Johnson was completely free and he would have put the ball in.
Yeah,
And the second one was when he ran in and Kolo Muani, maybe he let Johnson go for the goal, but nevertheless, he knows where to be. So
yeah.
I want to use this podcast to make another kind of pitch to get Brennan Johnson playing much more.
I know, but
Now, what happens with the red card? I mean, he got a red card.
yeah.
The
If you get a red
commentator said
card in
he'll
this
miss one
scenario,
game.
it's one game, but it can be elevated to three if it's a dangerous play sort of thing. It might be deemed that. I don't actually know how.
No, he only grazed the back of this guy's
Yeah,
head.
I know, because the distance between him to the ball was so much, they might say no, no, he was being like very dangerous play. So I don't know how it works, and it's only for Champions League, so obviously it doesn't affect the Premier League. Our next match is away to PSG, and actually, I think
Right.
Brennan Johnson would be good away to PSG because PSG is probably going to press at home. So,
Right.
there will be space for Johnson to run into. So it's unfortunate that he's going to miss that game. I don't know if Kudus, it seems like was kind of he's not injured necessarily, but he wasn't even on the bench today, so I don't really know what happened
That's
there.
okay. Maybe Frank is trying to coach himself by saying that if Kudos was on the bench, he would have brought Kudos in.
Yeah.
So rather than having him on the bench, he gave him a day out.
Yeah. Then gave Dane Scarlett the chance as well,
Yeah, yeah. So two big things that happened today. One was finally a home win after Burnley. I mean, the first game of the
Oh my God,
season.
that's true,
Right?
right?
We've not had any home wins
Yeah,
all these days, right? This is
right.
like from the end of August to the beginning of November. That's a two bloody months.
Yeah.
And the second thing was, man, oh man, the best goal of the season.
Yeah,
I
done.
mean, it was almost better than
Son's goal.
Son's Puskas goal, where
It
he actually
was
won
it was
the
almost the
award.
same, but Van der Ven wins the ball and he drives it
Right,
up the whole length of the pit,
right.
box to box, and he shoots from further outside as well. I
I
think he
know.
beats the same number of players, but there's less like kicking it past
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I
There were
don't
more
know.
people trying to stop Son than trying to stop Van de Ven.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, this was an amazing goal. So, I mean, we got two
Incredible.
amazing highlights.
Yeah.
So, very nice to have, talk about a winning game. And I hope Frank continues to start this midfield
Yeah.
because having Bentancur and Sa and Simmons or Polinia, Sa and Simmons, I think would
Or
be the midfield.
Bergvall instead of Sar when Bergvall is
Or
the right
Bergwijn
wing.
instead of
Yeah.
Sa,
No, I
right?
agree. I think that again, that's probably what they wanted to do against Chelsea, right? They wanted to do. Oh no, was it
No,
Polina?
no,
No, it was
no.
Bentancur, Sarr, and Bergvall, right?
Right.
Or was I forget exactly.
No, he had Polina actually, and
Polina
Polina,
was there, right?
yeah, because he was starting a back three, and he
Oh
put
yeah,
Polina in the back
they
three.
they had something weird. That Bergvall was kind of a left winger, not fully a left winger sort of situation.
No, but whatever. So
Anyway, yeah,
yeah, so good. Hopefully we'll have a pleasant podcast the next time they play in the Champions League, and
yeah. At PSG on November 26th,
yes,
PSG just got beaten at home by Bayern Munich.
I
So
know, and they have now two injuries, by the way. Hakimi
Hakimi,
went out
yeah.
injured,
Who was the other
and
one?
somebody else was out injured as well. Uh,
Did Hakimi get injured in the Luis Diaz red card? I
yeah,
didn't. Oh, that's what happened. Okay,
yeah, and then somebody else was injured. Who is the striker?
Dembele.
Dembele got injured too. So both of them got injured.
Well,
So, and who knows?
we've
Maybe.
already beaten them in 83 minutes, so
Okay. So just want to remind the viewers, please subscribe to our channel. We have now 200 plus subscribers, and also, hit the like button.
Yeah,
We seem to have about 4,000 people who view the podcast. And yeah, I happy to have a happy podcast this time.
yeah, exactly. All right. See you guys next time in a couple of weeks.
See you next time.